What's up, guys? This is Coach Alyssa with Trumeta. I am going to take you guys through a super quick, super simple mobility warm-up routine, specifically for weightlifters, but can be for anybody. I love these 4 drills specifically because you can do them anywhere. You don't need any fancy equipment, just a PVC, something heavy, something you can put your elbows on. Could be a bed, couch. I'm using a box today. Instead of a PVC, you could use a broomstick, mop handle, whatever. And in lieu of a kettlebell, you can just hold something semi-heavy. I'm using a 25-pound kettlebell. First of all, why is mobility important? Flexibility and mobility are often confused for one another. Both of them are very important to have. Flexibility is the temporary lengthening of the soft tissues. So think yoga when we reach for our toes, when we hold a static stretch, when we do a calf stretch after we run. That is working our soft tissues. That's a flexibility drill. Mobility is the ability for the joints and the soft tissues to move through their full range of motion while supporting us under a load, okay? Under a load is like if we're lifting a barbell, if we're doing a goblet squat. It's our body's ability to move through internal and external rotation of the joints and support us in those positions. So both are equally important, but today we are working on mobility, which is a fantastic thing to do prior to your workout, or you can just do it on a day off. Okay, so as I mentioned before, these are 4 drills that we are gonna go through. I'm gonna go through with you guys one time through, 10 reps of each movement, but feel free to follow along one round of this, or you can repeat this as many times as you'd like. If you're doing it as a warm-up, I'd suggest 2 to 3 times, doing 10 reps each, moving through this. So let's go ahead and get started. So equipment that you'll need, I say equipment lightly because again, if you don't have a PVC pipe, you can use a broomstick, mop, really anything that is a small diameter you can wrap your hands around. Doesn't really matter, just something light, all right? That is equipment piece number 1. Equipment number 2, I've got my kettlebell. This one is 25 pounds. Anything heavy-ish. If you're doing it at your house, you can grab a water jug, you can grab your dog, I don't care. You can just grab something. I just want you to have something that you can hold in front of you while we do the movement. That's it. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, guys, first dynamic movement of our mobility warm-up is going to be down dog to cobra. So I'll give you an example of what we're gonna be doing here. And as we go through, I'll talk about ways that we can modify if our mobility does not allow us to get into these positions yet. So downward dog, we're thinking piked hips, and we're thinking trying to get the heels down as close as we can to the floor. Now, if our calves and our hamstrings are tight, that's probably not going to be possible. So you can have a bend in the knee, or you can widen the feet. Okay, take the feet as wide as the mat. From here, we're gonna move through, let the hips come down to the mat. This is cobra position. So we are doing 10 reps going from cobra position to our down dog position. If cobra here is too much on the low back, we can come down to the elbows. Okay, so that's our modification for that. So together, we'll do 10, pike the hips up, drop the hips down for 1, for 2. Since these are dynamic, we want to not really stay in the position for more than a couple seconds. We're kind of moving right through, and then we'll save the static stretching for after the workout. What number are we on? I think we're on 4. And again, if the hamstrings are really mad at you, you can bend the knees. You can feel free to pedal out the heels, pedal out the knees like I'm doing right now, if you want a little bit of extra movement. We're on 6. My biggest tip of advice when you are doing more flexibility or static stretching or if you're doing mobility drills, is to not force your body to go into a certain position that it's not ready to go into yet. So just accepting where you are, when you are. If your body hurts, don't do it. Don't force your body into that position if it doesn't feel okay. We're on 8. 9. Last one, 10. All right, second dynamic movement is going to be the kettlebell hip shift. This is one of my favorite ones, specifically before I squat. This is a great hip opener as well as an ankle opener. We need ankle dorsiflexion and hip flexion to be able to get down in the bottom of a squat. So this one's awesome. We are going to also do 10 reps of this on each side. So how I'm gonna set up for this one, so I'm starting on my knees. I'm gonna act like I'm coming into a low lunge, but instead of stepping this front foot out straight in front of me, I'm gonna angle it about 45 degrees off to whatever side I'm doing, okay? Now that my hip is open, I'm gonna lean this way towards this open angle that I'm creating with my hip, okay? Now the goal here, obviously, is to move without pain. So if this hurts, don't go that far. But the other goal is to keep the foot completely flat on the floor. We're going through the range of motion in the ankle, warming that up as well. Here is where the kettlebell comes in. So we're gonna add a little bit of a load moving through this hip shift. So all I'm gonna do is hold my kettlebell while I shift into that full range of motion with the hip, and then come back to center. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. And obviously if this doesn't feel great on this back knee, put a pillow underneath, put a ab mat, put a pad, whatever. It's 4. Oh, actually I think that's 5. 6. My PT clients know I am the queen of not being able to count. 7. 8. 9. Last one on this side. 10. Super. So we're switching sides. Same thing, this front foot, instead of coming out straight ahead of me, I'm gonna angle it so that I can get a little opening in the hip. And same thing, we have 10 on this side. Take it nice and slow. You can also hold the kettlebell like a goblet hold up underneath your chin. Whatever feels cool and good. Okay, so this is 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, and 10. All right, mobility drill number 3 is going to be scorpions. So these are a fantastic thing. I love adding these into my dynamic warm-ups, my clients' dynamic warm-ups. These are fantastic for mobilizing the spine and as well as the chest, depending on how you do it. So we are gonna get into the chest and the spine today. You're gonna lay face down, arms out wide to a T. Arms are out to a T, okay? The goal here is to keep both shoulders planted on the floor as much as possible. We're gonna take opposite foot, get a little twist, try and aim for that opposite hand. Okay, hold for a second or two, come back to center, opposite foot, to opposite hand. All right, we've done 2, that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I love doing these first thing in the morning because my back sounds like bubble wrap. 8, 9, last one, and 10. All right, guys, so that was 3. We are about 10 minutes in, so as you can see, this super quick routine. Last one that we're gonna do is a T-spine and lat PVC mobility drill. This one is also one of my favorites because anything that we do, front squatting, shoulder pressing, also my Olympic weightlifters out there, anything that we need to be able to have something on the front rack position resting on our shoulders, we need to have mobility in the T-spine, the thoracic spine, as well as the lats, these big triangular muscles running down our back. If we try to do this with the PVC and we have a hard time getting the elbows out in front of us, most likely we are tight in those areas. So this is going to be a really great drill to open those up. All right, so this is the drill, obviously, where our PVC, broomstick, mop handle, whatever we're holding comes into play, as well as our box, couch, chair, bed, whatever we're putting our elbows onto. So first things first, I'm gonna get a grip that is pretty close, pretty narrow. So it's about right outside my thighs, about a thumb's distance outside of my thighs. I'm holding this palms up so that I can bend my elbows like this. All right, with this PVC, broomstick, whatever you have, in your palms, palms up, I'm going to take almost a prayer pose on this box. And I want enough room that I can push my head through my shoulders and my biceps. So this already is a stretch right here. But what we're gonna do to mobilize this area is essentially we're gonna think doing a cat-cow, where we arch the back and let the belly fall to the ground. And then we round the spine, almost like a Halloween cat decoration or whatever, you know what I mean? Pushing through, rounding the spine, and then dropping the belly down. And when we round the spine, I'm actively pushing my elbows against the box and then letting my body relax. So we have 10 reps of activating, pushing against the box, and then letting the spine round. And I can kind of already feel my shoulders and my T-spine opening and allowing for more space as I go through. So this is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, and 10. Awesome, so that is it. Those are my 4 favorite full body mobility drills that you can add into your warm up, or you can do multiple rounds of this and make a dynamic warm up for you before you lift, run, do CrossFit, whatever it is that you're doing that day. So thank you guys so much, and I'll see you next time.